My children, thank you for coming to my sermon today on unity. Unity is one of the principles that Unicult is founded on. It's something that's so important and so obvious to Unicult that we don't talk about it nearly enough. In fact, I didn't even put it in the first two editions of Fundamentals of Unicult. Don't worry, that will change with the third edition. That's why this is a work in progress, and that's why there are going to be 3 editions, because I knew that I would have missed some things in these first 2 editions as I grow as a spiritual leader and as a teacher and as a healer and as someone who is channeling this information into my body, into my work, and into your life. I love this television feeling. It's like kind of intimidating, but I think I can get into it. So, it's so different than just sitting at my computer. Give me a second. Unity. Why is unity important? Why is it important right now? What is the goal of Unicult, and how is unity related, and how can you be more unified with the people around you? What's the big deal with unity? Flashback. It's 2012. Unicole Unicron is bored out of their mind working at a falafel restaurant and a bookstore and another breakfast restaurant, working 3 jobs, shoving Taco Bell in my face between all the jobs because I had to commute super far to work these jobs, and I was living on a farm in the middle of nowhere, just dusty fields everywhere. I was living on a farm with doomsday preppers. And I lived in a room in a house, this weird house that had so many bedrooms. And in my bedroom, I had, bookshelves, floor to ceiling, and a bed, and a computer. And that's it. I gotta plug my iPad in. Hang on. This is the reality of our lives. This is the reality of our lives here. I should have charged it, but I thought, it's got enough charge. It doesn't. Let's see. Give me just 1 second. I think that this is going to work. Hang on, TikTok. Just bear with me. TikTok's getting yanked around. Okay, I have solutions to all these problems. Let's see if they work. Hang on. Oh my god, 2 more seconds. Oh my god. How did we end up here? Hang on. We're doing some... Oh yeah! Okay, we have a weird filter on. Hang on. Thank you, TikTok, for being patient, and thank you everyone else. Okay, I don't know how many filters. I don't know how to get back to... Okay, whatever. Where were we? Okay, we're still in our flashback. Unicole's living on a farm. I'm there, and I'm bored out of my mind. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And I start having telepathic communication with the sky. And I don't really know what's going on, but I'm deep in conspiracy theories. I'm surrounded by David Icke books and philosophy books left and right. And I'm looking at the world, and I'm waking up. And I'm like, this is messed up. Like, I graduated college, I'm trying to figure out how the world works, and it looks like, to me, this is all really badly organized. Obviously, people need their basic needs met. Obviously, people don't want to work all day every day. Obviously, our productivity could be higher if we cared about people. Obviously, the healthcare industry is so greedy. I had tried to kill myself about a year and a half before this time, and my medical bills before insurance kicked in, luckily I had insurance. I was young enough to have insurance. My hospital bills for trying to kill myself was $100,000. So even just that, thinking, wow, if I was disenchanted by the world and I tried to kill myself and I wake up with $100,000 bill, like, no, you weren't allowed to die and you owe us $100,000. If I didn't have insurance, which many people don't, that wouldn't make me want to keep living. The world is designed with greed at the bottom line. Greed is the bottom line. Capitalism perpetuates greed. Capitalism doesn't necessarily need to perpetuate greed, but our system isn't capitalism. Our system is greed. And I think the more you can see the fundamental operations of the world, the easier it is to understand and the easier it is to unify our energy. So what happened to me on this farm? I started feeling desperate. I started feeling angry. I started feeling confused. Like, why wasn't I allowed to die? The world is pitted against all of the people in it. Who did this? Why? How can we overcome this? How can I change my life personally to be one that I want to live? And I realized that my personal reality going up against the world was not going to be enough. So I remember one night I was crying and I was driving and the stars were beautiful. This was in Colorado. I could actually see the stars. It was nice. I was driving and I was crying and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. What am I supposed to do here? Why am I alive? I didn't want to be alive. What is the point of being here? So basically, I did this. I said, why? Have you ever been there, holding your hands up to the sky and saying, why? I got an answer. And the answer was, it was a question. The answer was a question. The question was, what needs to happen on Earth to make it good? And my brain just started working. And I was like, well, you need to do this, and you need to do this, and I said, you have to build the entire infrastructure. You have to redo the entire thing. And they said, that's why you're here. And I didn't know I was channeling aliens. I didn't know who I was talking to. I honestly didn't think too much about it, because the answer I got and the questions I got to think about were exciting enough to distract me for another few years about that situation. And I woke up further in 2014 and actually started channeling aliens a lot clearer. But that experience of finding my life's purpose in a moment of crisis led me on this journey of thinking deeply about why I'm alive, why any of us are alive, and what needs to happen in this world to shift our reality from the toxic, greed-based system that doesn't serve any of us into the Unitopian paradise where everyone has their basic needs met and where everyone has the freedom to do the work of their true heart, whatever that is, so long as it doesn't harm anyone, including themselves. And I sat down and I thought, and I can toot my own horn about this. I'm a genius. The way that I see the world is completely different than anyone else. My being a genius doesn't mean that you're not a genius. I believe we're all genius. And I believe genius just means we have the ability to see what's going on around us and to bring our higher self into our body to check out what's going on and make a decision that integrates both. That's my definition of genius. And I am happily proclaiming myself to be one. So I looked at the world and I thought about it, and I'd already been investigating it for a while. And I came upon a bit of information that most of you who follow me know, because I've said it so many times, but this is the essential component of the idea of unity. And I thought, how do you change an entire planet? How do you change an entire system that is built on an entire emotion that is toxic? And I said, I need power. I need power. I can't just change it as a falafel sandwich shop employee. I need to figure out how to get power. Is power money? Yeah. How am I going to get money? I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. I hate money. That's where I was at that point. Money is toxic. I don't know. If I had enough money, maybe I could do this. But money is also greed. It's tied to greed. Okay, so money's the obvious answer. The second answer is social power. Okay, I can climb the ranks of what? Academia, politics, Hollywood. I can climb the ranks and become powerful through social attention, right? Like, okay, that's all right. But also, once again, here I am writing letters to to the executives at Interscope Records, assuming that I'm just going to become famous the next day, and nothing happens. So again, just like money, I'm kind of like at a standstill with that. Okay, where else does power lie? And I thought about power, and I thought about natural disasters like earthquakes, and like what's the most powerful thing that exists? And it's like I imagine tsunamis and earthquakes, and I thought, you know what? That's even more powerful than tsunamis and earthquakes is groups of people. Groups of people working together rebuilds all the destruction of the tsunamis and the earthquakes. Groups of powerful people work together. They create war. They have cities and buildings and all the technology that we've ever invented. Bridges and tunnels, submarines and planes, jetpacks, Korgs. Groups of people working together is the most powerful force on the planet. And so before I did anything else, I said, I am going to start a group of people. That is the obvious answer. That is the only way to change the world. That is the most powerful thing we can do. And it doesn't mean that I am the precipice of the power of the group of people. The point is that we are all one. The point is that we create a world that is better for everyone. The point is that we each have equal amounts of power as each other. Fundamentally, that is true. You as an individual have just as much power as anybody else. Any idea of somebody's social status or wealth or attractiveness, those are all not even real. Those are physical reality. They are not eternal. They give you the idea. You might limit your power because you're like, oh, I'm just somebody living on a farm who works at a falafel shop. I guess I can't be anything. I guess I'm nobody. I just want to die. You can shrink your energy down and be not powerful. Or you can stand up and say, wow, I believe I'm just as powerful as any politician. I believe I'm just as powerful as any pop star. I believe I'm just as powerful as anyone I've ever admired. And from that place, you rise up, you raise your energy, and you start to embody that energy. We each have equal amounts of power, and social dynamics and social power is bullshit. Spiritual truth is coming to light. And the spiritual truth is that you are important. The spiritual truth is that you should be exactly who you are. And that's the best thing for everyone. We make ourselves small. And this has to do with unity. It really does. Because there's two types of unity, and we'll talk about that. But we make ourselves small, and we make ourselves try to fit into boxes. I'm gender nonconforming. I didn't know what that was. I didn't want to stand out. I didn't want to make waves. I only knew that I was bisexual, which I now identify as pansexual, but at the time I didn't know the words. I didn't know what it was. I felt ashamed to be attracted to trans people in high school. And I felt so confused, and I felt like they were beautiful people and so attractive, but then I felt confused and ashamed about my attraction to them because it was so demonized in our society. I was afraid to even be out as bi. I was afraid to tell anyone. I remember shaking when I told my college roommate because I thought she was going to freak out and think I was perverted. I thought she was going to feel like the same as if she was living with a guy and ask to move. That's not what happened, but I felt afraid of that. I used to be afraid to wear a little rainbow pin on my bag in hopes that people would know that it meant that I was gay. I made myself small. And I didn't know that I had another gender, and I was confused about my, desire not to fit into feminine norms and my revulsion to them, because I don't identify with them at all, but I forced myself to identify with them. I was a cheerleader. I shaved my legs. I wore high heels. I wore mini skirts. I put makeup on my face every day. I made sure my nail polish was never chipped. I read the magazines. I went shopping at the mall. I did everything I could to fit into this standard, which was not me. And we all do this. We all do this because we have a fundamental desire to fit in. We have a fundamental desire to be alive and to not get hate. Why is your uniqueness important? Because there are two types of unity. When people think of unity, when they think of people coming together and working together. And the first way is toxic. And it's the only way that we really understand groups of people working together. And it's through coercion, and it's through repression, and it's through fascism. And it's what's apparent at every job you've ever had. It's apparent in the government. It's apparent in this entire society. And it's apparent in the army. And it's this idea of making yourself into a mold of a person, of a soldier, of a cog, of a machine, and just doing the job and being in harmony, quote unquote, perceived harmony, which is not really, it's not true harmony, right? This is the material version of harmony, of organized creation. If everyone is miserable on a Monday, but they show up to get paid and they do their job anyway and they create something, that's great. They created something in the physical reality. But what happened in the spiritual reality? What happened in the emotional reality? What happened as far as these people's health? It deteriorated. They felt like garbage. That's the truth. That's eternal. Physical reality isn't shit. We should honor it. We live in it. It's our bodies. It's great. But what is more important than your own conscious experience? Your own conscious experience is part of physical reality, but we need to figure out how to honor the truth of our hearts. So what is the second version of unity? This is a new concept on Earth. And to me, it's so obvious. And it's where I come from in space. This is baby stuff. This is like, duh. We work together and we honor who we are. But we don't know it here on Earth. And we don't practice it. So what is it? The Unitopian unity that I see, that I strive for with my creations, with my creation of Unicult as a religion and as a group, is the idea that every single person has a beautiful harmony inside themselves. Every single person is valuable in their most vulnerable, authentic, honest place. That is what I want to see. That is where our society thrives. Because when each person is authentic with their true heart and their true vulnerability, that is spiritual, emotional truth. That is honoring the conscious expression of our reality, the conscious experience of our reality. Also, the diversity of authenticity creates a vibrant reality for us all. So there's so many aspects to unity that are so exciting. Unitopian unity is having each person respond in a way that is authentic and vulnerable and true to them, and then having everybody else honor that and say, I love that you're like that. wow, you're unhealed in a way and you just smashed up our kitchen. I'm going to set my boundaries, but I love you and I see where you're hurting and I'm going to be here to hold space for you and we're going to figure this out as long as I feel safe first. Oh, you are a furry. Oh, you're gay. Oh, you're trans. Oh, you like football. Oh, you're a Trump supporter. Oh, you're a Biden supporter. Oh, you don't want to vote. Oh, you're a little bit racist. Oh, you're working really hard to not be racist and you're mean because of it. Oh, you don't really talk very easily. Oh, the way you talk is really strange. Oh, you have weird hair color. Oh, you look like someone who triggered me in the past. Guess what? That's all beautiful expression and experience. And I'm not saying that you have to be best friends with everyone. I'm not saying that you have to change who you are. I'm saying have boundaries for people who are going to hurt you or trigger you. And beyond that, practice this higher awareness of unconditional appreciation for the diversity of life. You cannot expect everyone to fit into your reality. And that is where I can't even say the word utopia. I forgot it even exists. That's where utopias have failed in the past. Because they say, well, I would like a pool and everyone to wait on me. So that's utopia. Everyone, you're all waiting on me and I'm going to have a pool. That's not utopia. That's your utopia, maybe. But it's not everyone's utopia, and it's very difficult to create a utopia for every single person. And that's where Unitopia is different. Because Unitopia allows for each person to do what they want to do. One person's utopia truly might be to go live in a small, tiny cabin in the woods and grow their own garden and do cottagecore witchcraft in the woods and dress up as a wolf and go howl at the moon every Friday. Maybe that's somebody's utopia. Somebody else's utopia might be, I want to be in a skyscraper leading a business that saves all the turtles. That's great. Every person deserves their own utopia, and that's Unitopia. So where does unity come into this? This is a very, very, very challenging thing that we're trying to do in Unicult. And it's challenging because nobody knows what the frick it is. And nobody knows how to get along. And everybody thinks if they have a goal that they have to singularly focus on that goal and not talk to anybody else and just like live in their own reality. And that's great. But there has to be some aspect of your personal reality reserved for unity. There has to be some aspect of your personal reality reserved for seeing the fundamental truth of the world and listening to other people's experience and making space for that experience to move forward with collaboration. Unity is the answer to all of our problems. Unity will solve the inadequacies and inefficiencies in government, business, education, and your personal life. We recently had some drama in Unicult, which is rare and unusual because the people who join Unicult usually just get it. But this idea of not agreeing on topics, and that caused a split. That caused people to want to go somewhere else and do other things. Do the same thing, just separately. And I took it really hard because I haven't properly communicated what unity is to everyone. And to me, there's a lot of levels. Simply by saying, I'm going to join Unicult, and you fill out the application and you send it back to me, that's your pledge to work toward a brighter and more hopeful future. If everybody did that small act and said, I pledge to work towards a brighter and more hopeful future, we would have a huge shift in this world because we all agreed on one thing. Can we all just agree? Can we all just start there? We all want to work toward a brighter and more hopeful future. That's one aspect of Unicult. And then the next aspect of Unicult is figuring out the community and harmonizing the community. Guess what? It's hard. Have you been in a popular Discord ever? It's a nightmare. There's people fighting and attacking and making jokes and saying mean things to each other and trying to one up each other and saying mean memes and then saying like really racist things or homophobic things or whatever and then getting banned. And it's a nightmare, right? Unicult Discord is like a sanctuary. It's a space where people are talking about mushrooms and gardening and technology and politics in a way that is focused on how do we find solutions and how do we make the world a better place from here. It's not always a sanctuary. We've had a few hiccups. And what's interesting about those hiccups is the fact that people, when we get triggered, we don't want to listen to other people. We don't want to work with other people. We don't want to put our energy toward a goal that we feel like is corrupted by somebody else's energy. And there are two solutions to this situation. The first solution is, yes, set your boundaries, walk away, leave, protect yourself, do your own thing separately. That's a healthy thing to do. But the second goal is to lead with love. And this is somewhere that I was dropping the ball too. I was feeling defeated. I was feeling like putting my boundaries up. I wanted to delete the servers. I wanted to say, why? I was crying on the floor. Why did I even create Unicult? I don't want to do this anymore. But some of the devoted members talked some sense into me, and they inspired me with solution-oriented ideas. And I will always be on board for a solution. And I hope you are too. So what is the solution when you feel like that? When you feel like stepping away, when you're on a team, when you're in a group, and you're working on something, and you want to, even just politics. We can just talk about politics because it's so intense right now in America. It's like, yes, you want to pull away, you want to set your own boundaries, and you want to just not participate. You don't want to talk to anybody about politics. That's a legitimate response. But the next response, after you are able to do that, and after you feel safe enough to, the next response is to join back in to the conversation and lead with love. Lead with a glowing energy and let your passion for whatever it is about the situation guide you with your actions. Get involved in local politics. Start live streaming your thoughts about these things from a loving, solutions-oriented perspective. In Unicult, we have the opportunity for people to come and create whatever they want to create. And it's from that place of creation and from that place of leadership with your own unique energy that we actually have the power to shift systems and to make the world more aligned with the things that we want and the things that we need. And that inspires other people, and they want to support you, and they want to work with you. It's difficult to get there. And it takes a lot of work because this type of unity that we're talking about respects each person. It respects each person's unique individual reality. But groups of people working together is the most powerful force on the planet. If you have conflict with other people who you are trying to accomplish something with, could be a loved one, your family, your coworkers, a project, an art project you're working on, whatever it is, you will be shocked. And this, I'm talking to myself. You will be shocked at what happens when you bring your confident, beautiful energy with a vision and with open heart to the table. People can sense your energy, and I mean this for everyone. When you come into a group or a room and you're kind of nervous and you're like, well, I'm just going to stand over here and wait for them to appreciate me. Guess what they're getting? They're getting this energy of like judgment, right? And so then they're gonna reflect that energy, and they're gonna be like, what's their problem? Why are they just looking at us? And then they're not gonna be very nice. But if you come in with the energy that you want to receive, which is like, I appreciate all of you, I'm here and I appreciate you and I appreciate you, it shifts your energy instantly inside yourself. And that energy gets reflected back at you. We are all spiritual leaders. If you ever feel down or upset about social situations, I still have social anxiety. I come home after I see somebody, or even if I have a phone conversation sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if they're thinking about how I said this, or I wonder if they're upset that I did that, or I didn't really mean to interrupt them at that one moment. And we all do that sometimes, right? Maybe not, but most of us do. Okay, instead of coming to your social group and being nervous and shy, you come and you're confident and you say, everybody appreciates me because I appreciate everyone. It's over. I'm not going to deal with anxiety anymore. I'm not going to deal with all this bullshit drama. I'm just going to say, I love you all for being here. I love you for setting your boundaries. I love you for working with me to create a brighter and more hopeful future. And from that energy, we can create so much more. Wherever you focus on blooms and thrives. If you focus on the negative, shrinking of energy, judgment, fear, resentment, all of this stuff, you're not going to be progressing in the most beneficial way. Progress is still happening. It's just slower and a little bit more painful. By embodying that which you wish to see, you become a very good leader. You become a very good person. And you learn how to unify your energy with other people. You stand up for who you are, and you listen to who other people are. Through unified effort, through honoring the unique energy of each individual, and through unifying our effort with each other, we can create paradise on earth. I'm not bullshitting you when I say that. Earth sucks in a lot of ways. And you can change your own reality. You can change your own focus. You can find better friends. You can find better lovers. You can enter into better relationships. You can have higher standards. You can treat yourself with more respect. You can treat your home with more respect. And from that place, you make your life better. And from that place, you can treat your life energy, and you can focus on abundance. You can focus on money, and you can get more money, and you can treat yourself better in that regard. And then you can get into a state where you're comfortable, where you can just go about your life and you don't really need to worry about the whole world going to shit. That's good to do. But we can also work together to make the world good for everyone. Not everybody has the opportunity to take care of themselves. Not everybody has the opportunity to take care of their home. Not everybody has the opportunity to make their bank account, grow. How do we support every single person to have that same comfort and leisure that you might have in your life, wherever you have it? How do we support everyone to have the tools that they need to create their art? How do we support everyone to come together with the simplest of desires, which is to make the world a brighter and more hopeful place? I get so much hate online. On TikTok. I'm looking at you, TikTok. People give me death threats. People tell me to kill myself. People say that I'm crazy, that I'm delusional, and they think I'm evil, all these things. And I don't know why we can't all just agree to work toward a brighter and more hopeful future. I don't know why that's such a radical idea. I think if we could all just unify our effort there, first and foremost, we would have incredible success on this planet. Unity. Maybe after we can agree on at least one thing, like working on a brighter and more hopeful future, maybe then we can start focusing on fundamental human rights. Because people disagree on that somehow. And we're in a state of mass division. It's not comfortable and it's not fun for any of us. Your opinions about the world are shaped by propaganda. You have to understand that. Your opinions, your political beliefs are shaped by propaganda. You might think, oh, you're not talking about me. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about me. I'm not immune to it. The amount of control and influence that mass media and social media has over our consciousness cannot be escaped unless you are not talking to anyone and you're just living in a cabin and you have no internet connection and no TV. It's the only way you can escape it. If you have the internet, if you have an internet connection, if you have any social media account, if you have TV, if you have Netflix, you are influenced by propaganda. That's okay. It's not great. But you have to start dismantling your beliefs and getting down to the root emotional reality of them. You have to dismantle your belief of other people, your judgments of other people, and get down to the root understanding of it. We are all one. We are all being manipulated. We are all being brainwashed to hate each other. Divide and conquer is not just an old adage. It's a common technique of politicians, of government, of cults, evil cults, not our cult. We're different in that way. Where are you being divided in your heart and toward other people? And how can you unify that energy? This all begins within. This is the last part I'm going to talk about. Unity is easy to look at on a global scale and say, why can't we have world peace? God, this is so hard. Oh, isn't Rachel such a bitch? You are the reason why we can't have world peace. You have to take responsibility for your own actions. Are you cultivating peace? Say, oh, why can't we have world peace? I'm such a piece of shit. Oh, I want to die. You are why we can't have world peace. Your own love and harmony for yourself. Love yourself. You're important. You're beautiful. You're wonderful. You're essential to creating a world that is like you, that is more vibrant. Love yourself. Harmonize your energy that you have for yourself. Harmonize the energy that you have for your friends and your family and your acquaintances. Harmonize your energy with your enemies. Harmonize your energy with your trolls. Harmonize your energy and your unconditional love for those who have done you wrong, for those who have harmed you, for those who have committed crimes against you. That's how we have world peace. By you doing the work inside your own consciousness. If everybody did that, we would have no fighting. We would have no crimes. We would have conflict. We would have disagreements. Those are natural, normal things. I'm not saying those things don't matter. Those things don't happen. They do. But the way that we approach conflict doesn't have to be violent. And by violence, I don't just mean physical violence. I mean emotional violence as well. So unity is very important. When I try to express this, I almost get upset because I can't express just how important it is. When people ask me, who should join Unicult, I say everyone. I want to see everyone joining Unicult because fundamentally what it means is that you're willing to work toward a brighter and more hopeful future. And if you pledge to do that, you're doing your part to harmonize our energy on Earth. We can accomplish world peace without that, maybe. But I'm here to help. I'm here to fix it. I'm here to work toward creating this infrastructural reality for us to move into Unitopian paradise. And I have the freaking downloads of how to do it. I'm a human. I struggle. I cry. I yell. I fall on the floor. I eat bad food. I do things that aren't what my higher self wants me or thinks I should do. But also my higher self is like, yeah, being a human looks hard. I'm just going to hold unconditionally loving space for you. And so I cry it out and I roll around on the floor and then I pick myself back up and I take a bath. I smoke some weed and I'm like, okay, I got through that conflict and I'm ready to continue working toward a brighter and more hopeful future. I've been at this since 2012 and I haven't stopped, and I'm not going to stop because this planet deserves to be happy. You deserve to be happy. I deserve to be happy. The trolls deserve to be happy. And if we all can enter into a state of joy, there will be no more crime. There will be no more fighting. There will be no point to any of that because we're all just going to straight vibe. Don't you want a straight vibe with me? Join Unicult. That's my sermon on unity. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here with me to talk about these things. I really appreciate all of you, and I hope that you have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week here for Camp Church, and we're going to be talking about fundamentals. I think next week is maybe something about the power of belief. Belief makes real, which is a big one, a good one. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Uni bless. Oh, you know what I should do as a little prayer to close it out? Spirit of Uni, thank you for flowing this energy. Thank you for being here. And we are blessing all the viewers. We're asking for the most peaceful, wonderful, possible Saturday. And you know what we have is the new devoted members orientation. So I'll see you all there. And I'm a little bit late. I got carried away with this sermon. It's a big one. It's important. I'm passionate about it. So bless all the members watching. Uni bless.